What's up, guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. This is a good one, and this is a special one at this point in the season where we try to hit that coveted legend ranking in the Go Battle League. I hope everyone had a great Global Go Fest weekend as well. I played very casually, to be honest myself. I played a few hours on Saturday. I played like maybe 2 hours today on Sunday. Got a handful of shinies. I probably got way less shinies than most of you watching this video. So if you ask me my shiny count, I'm not even going to say. It's probably embarrassing compared to all you beasts out there, all you hardcore grinders. But I played very casually, had some fun, did my research tasks, got my Marshadow, and that was good enough for me. Got a lot of steps in as well, and had some fun. But we have been taking a little bit of a break from the Go Battle League. We got number 11 in the world like about 2 weeks ago, and then we had a couple rough days on stream, dropped about 200 points, and I was getting a little bit frustrated. I was letting my frustrations get the better of me. I was letting it affect my gameplay. I'm sure some of you guys can relate in the Go Battle League. Sometimes maybe you feel like you let your emotions get the better of you, and maybe sometimes it's dictating your gameplay, and maybe sometimes you need to take a deep breath, settle down, and that's what I decided to do. I took several days off from my stream. I went back to it. I had 3 sets where I went like 2-3, 3-2. And then these were our last 2 sets of the stream where a fellow battler and content creator, Jock, suggested we run his team, Jellicent, Shadow Alolan Ninetails, and Regis Steel. And those are the 2 sets you're about to see right now. We lock in the team. Our Jelly Shadow A9 is going to be running Powder Snow, Weather Ball, Dazzling Gleam. And then Registeel running the standard Lock-On Focus Blazap Cannon. Jelly opting for Hex Surf and Shadow Ball. And we will see how this team plays out. First opponent, Jason Boyles here in the Great League Remix Cup, starting ELO 2908. And we see the Carbink in the lead. As soon as I see Carbink, I know it might be double Razor Leaf. So I am a little bit concerned, because I know that Shadow Victory Bell might be able to flip the switch advantage here. So I'm going to go for the Weather Ball. I'm keeping an eye on my health. And check this out here. This is a Chart Attack Priority, but look at the health on my Ninetales, right? That might be 1 HP. And I'm afraid if I shield, a Charge Attack still does 1 HP damage through the shield, remember. So that might still knock me out. So I'm not going to take that risk and waste an entire Protect Shield for nothing. I decided to let it go. And I'm going to hope Registeel can put the team on its back and try to win me this game. I get off the Shadow Ball to chip the Tropius. And this is going to be Registeel against the world. They are going to get off a Leaf Blade here. I'm going to invest a Protect Shield, because I got to start shielding something, right? Leaf Blade's a pretty hard-hitting move for how cheap it is. So I invest a shield there. Going to go for the Zap Cannon now. Zap Cannon grabs the final shield from the opponent. In comes Carbink. They're going to clear their debuff. Very smart by them. We get off another Zap Cannon here. This is going to chip away at the Carbink and doesn't do as much as we would like. Also doesn't get the attack drop. That's not ideal. So I have to make a decision here. Do I invest my final Protect Shield? I do. This is a very good matchup for Registeel, but he still has that Tropius to worry about. So now what I'm thinking here is I need to commit to a lock-on down. Zap Cannon connects. We get the debuff. We need to fully commit to the lock-on down. And that is going to, should guarantee us the win in this game. No reason to expend our energy. Need to throw this at the Tropius. Zap Cannon coming through. Going to be neutral damage against that grass flying dual typing. Do we get the lock-on down? Yes, we do. And then a double lock-on down. Registeel, too strong against Carbink double grass. And I think we played that game correctly. I think if we had... we were upset. We were upset how Steel... How on earth can Carbink double grass make that annoying for that team? It's just such an annoying team to deal with. Anyway, Jelly into Powder Snow Ninetales. But I was saying, I think we played that game correctly, because if I swap Registeel into Shadow Victory Bell, they can simply 2-shield through Registeel. And then I think Carbink on A9, I lose that game. So I think we played that game correctly. We save our energy. This is looking really good here. We have Registeel aligned with Mantine. But let's not speak too soon. I go for an undercharge here, but I wasn't sure how much to undercharge. It's double super effective, so I don't undercharge enough. In comes Quag, and suddenly this is looking a little bit scary. It's looking a little bit scary because Quag is going to be able to maybe come out of here with residual energy. So we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to go for a Focus Blast here. Nothing fancy. Just going to make sure we guarantee the shield or big time damage. And I actually decide to pivot. And this way I keep my Registeel around for later. Because we know it was an Alolan Ninetails in the lead, right? So this way I keep the Registeel around for the Alolan Ninetails. I actually live the Stone Edge to get off the Surf. This is pretty nice for me. I get off a nice Surf here for some chip damage. They have no shields remaining, which is pretty good for me. Quag farmed up so much, I did kind of lose track of energy. This is honestly probably just an Aqua Tail. Probably wasn't even enough for a Stone Edge, but I decided to shield for whatever reason. In comes Alolan Ninetails. We're going to build up, build up. And at this point, I know I can live a Size Shock, so they've already revealed it, right? And they actually go for Weather Ball bait, so I'm perfectly fine taking that. Go for the Dazzling Gleam here. This will guarantee the knockout against the opposing Alolan Ninetails. And we are chilling here. Just going to put up a shield because I know my Alolan Ninetales will win the charge attack priority because it has a higher attack stat against the Quagsire. And we are going to knock it out. Alolan Ninetales, a Pokemon I really loved using in the last competitive season in the Play Pokemon circuit. So fun to use it once again here in the Go Battle League. Get some play with it. And here we are. Searching for that next opponent. Maybe a little bit of cute times. No, not so much. Game number 3. Número 3. Jelly into Mantine. So, not the best, not the worst. They swap Sableye. I quickly counter swap into Shadow Alolan Ninetales, and I think this is the correct swap in this instance because you outpace, and because it's Shadow on Shadow, look how much that Weather Ball does. So I'm simply going to respect a Power Gem here, and then as we shield the Foul Play, check this out. I actually Powder Snow down before they even get to another Foul Play. Very nice for me. I'm going to build up, threaten the Dazzling Gleam, go for Weather Ball bait. This way, at least, even if they call it, I get off double Weather Ball, so it's a pretty safe bait in my opinion. I'm just guaranteeing some solid damage either way. Going for double Weather Ball here. I mean, they could potentially, oh, so I make a nice catch here. I actually, now here's the thing, right? If they were willing to swap out, they must have another Jelly answer. Now, I'm going to fully sacrifice my Jelly here, understanding that I'm just using it to absorb this damage from Mantine, lure out whatever their Jelly answer is. They clearly have a second Jelly answer if they were going to swap out, knowing that I have a Reggie to line up with the Mantine later on to deal with it. So we're basically at this moment in time reading, we're catching on Jelly to lure out what's in the back. Reggie's going to be on Mantine later. Plus, we save some health on A9 in the process. What's in the back? It's another Ghost. Makes sense. I throw in bad timing here, but I want to make sure I get this move off, so I throw before the Shadow Ball. I end up making a bit of a mistake here. I get too antsy, and I settle for Surf. No reason for me to settle for Surf. I would have much rather have committed to Shadow Ball and had him expend energy. This was a big mistake. Now he's got a ton of energy, and I'm in a bit of a weird spot. What I decide to do here is come in Reggie thinking he's going to blind Ominous Wind my Alolan Ninetales. And he does. And then I swap and catch a Shadow Ball onto my Alolan Ninetales. But I shield. And then I'm like, oh no, this is so awkward. And then I'm like, okay, I need to lock on down because I need energy for this Giratina. So suddenly this is looking really weird. I'm playing, please don't have Water Pulse. Please don't, if it doesn't have Water Pulse, I can Zap Cannon, live a Shadow Ball, no problem. But it has Water Pulse. Now a Shadow Ball knocks me out. So I decide I go for the cheaper energy cost move because I'm over 100 energy. They're 6 Shadow Claws away. I need to get there before them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got to settle for the Focus Blast. It's double resisted. Is this going to be enough? Reggie Steel knocks out the Giratina. in one of the most awkwardly played games of the season. I think I made that a lot more difficult than it needed to be. I think I could have played that a lot cleaner, and it wouldn't have been as close, but it also wouldn't have been as exciting. I think if we had simply, I think if we had simply, I don't know, man. Well, honestly, I think I made some nice plays, but also I think if we had committed to the Shadow Ball and just forced the Giratina to expend energy, that would have been a lot better. That was the main thing I think I should have done better. Anyway, here we are, Jelly against Tapu Fini, typically running Nature's Madness now as opposed to the Moonblast. We're going to put up a Protect Shield here. I think our switch advantage could matter with a Tapu Fini lead. They could be a type of team that tries to get that switch advantage with the Tapu Fini, line things in back. And now I'm going to put up a shield. Since I still have all this health on my Jellicent, I figure why not shield? Preserve my health. Maybe I pivot if I feel the need to. In comes opposing Reggie. A little bit awkward. I go for the Shadow Ball right before the Zap Cannon. And now I'm debating, do I swap in my own Reggie? I do. Is this the right play? I don't know, but we're going for it. So what's going to happen here is this is going to be a charge attack priority on the Focus Blast. So we're going to hope our Registeel wins the charge attack priority, and it looks like we do. This is perfect. We win the charge attack priority. This is probably going to force a shield out of them, and it does. And now our Jellicent should be able to outpace their Registeel to Shadow Ball. So I'm going to come in right away. I'm not waiting out the switch timer. No messing around. I maybe could have overfarmed, but I just want to get this off right away. Land it. Can we get the Hex down before a Zap Cannon? Yes, we can. Farm down the Registeel, and they go bye-bye. So everything going to plan here in the first set. That might be a 4-0 start to the set, if I'm not mistaken. A couple of good games in those past two. I think people in the Twitch chat suspected it was a Giratina in the back, and that's why they top lefted there. Next opponent here, Jelly into Clefable. Okay. Clefable you don't see too often. Clefable's going to do 7 Fairy Winds and then go for the Moonblast likely here. Meteor Mash going to be resisted, so they're likely going to go for the Moonblast. I instantly regretted going for Shadow Ball here because I figured double Surf is probably enough to knock out anyways. That's the more efficient play. And not only would it be more efficient, but they end up shielding anyway. So this is like the worst case scenario. And then I try to be cheeky. I try to be cute, and I catch a move on Reggie. But if there's a Clefable in the lead, they're almost certainly going to have a hard answer to Reggie in the back. And there it is in the Swampert. So this is a little bit awkward. That's for sure. Now, theoretically, let's see what happens here. I'm going to no shield here. Swampert's going to go for the Hydro Cannon as opposed to the Earthquake. Oh, you know what? I should have shielded. I should have shielded off this Focus Blast, yeah. That's where I messed up. I think that would have made things a lot more simple. Because then I just have... Well, let's see how things would have played out. Shadow Ball coming through. Going to do some big-time damage to Swamp. Oh. Honestly, probably didn't matter. I don't think if we knock out Swamp with the Focus Blast, I don't necessarily think Reggie gets to Focus Blast anyway. We were pretty low. But that was probably the win con, so that was probably the only thing we could have done differently there. I'd say that was more so tough alignment. We would have needed to win the lead scenario, I think, to win that game. Without winning the lead scenario, we were pretty much doomed. Dino is the reward. And let's see what this 4-1 set puts us at en route to our legend journey. 29.57. So a 5-0 would certainly get us there. A 4-1 would put us close, but not guarantee it. So let's get into the next set. Here we go. Oops. Set number 2, and this was actually our last set of the day. Set number 5. Kevin Martinez, the opponent. Carbink. So instantly, we're like, okay, is it double grass? No, they're staying in, which tells us it's probably not double grass. If it was double grass, they would instantly pivot into their Razor Leafer and start tapping their screen. Probably loud enough where their neighbor could hear them, as Carbink double Razor Leafers probably do. I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay, Rise, that was a little mean. Sorry. We take the Rock Slide. Gonna do 1 and throw, proper timing. Jellicent, the Jelly Meister. And, yeah, 1 and throw once again. So I would presume they're going to let it go. We still have a decent chunk of health. So do we consider pivoting out? We do. There's a dragon, and this is absolutely perfect. Rise, you just got countered your Registeel into a Poliwrath by giving up Switch. Yeah, this is exactly what we want, because now we can get shields down in this scenario. And we are going to actually, because we got the Zap Cannon debuff, elect to let this go. Hope they don't have Dynamic Punch, like Home Slice Henry. Get off a second Zap Cannon without having to expend a shield. This will likely grab their Final Protect shield. And now with all shields down, Alolan Ninetails is going to be primed to sweep this game. We come in with Jellicent, because where else are we really going to use Jellicent, right? We might as well use it here to absorb some energy. Scald knocks it out. And now Alolan Ninetails primed to sweep. I am going to put up a shield here. Might as well, right? A Scald could start to threaten us. They do bait. Makes sense. Nice bait by the opponent. They're going to swap in. And I am just not really threatened at all by these Dragon Breaths or the incoming Aqua Tail. So I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here because I want to make sure I come out with energy for that Poliwrath. I'm going to elect to let this Aqua Tail go through, gauge how much it does. Doesn't do that much to really make me scared. Come out with the Dazzling Gleam, and this is why having that hard-hitting Dazzling Gleam can really come in handy. Having a move that can one-shot things knocks out the Poliwrath. I don't think a Psyshock would have been enough from that distance, granted that we were Icy Wind one stage attack dropped. So that is 1-0 in this set to potentially try and hit that Legend ranking. We need at least a 4-1 to try and put us over the hump. 5-0 for sure. 4-1. Not going to guarantee it. 5-0 to 5-0 for a no-doubter. Next opponent, who's it going to be? Not familiar with this trainer. Jelly into Unovan Stunfisk. You don't see this too often these days. Has that unique ground electric typing. Throws after 7. Proper timing. Nicely done. We are going to take the discharge. Going to throw after 1 as per usual. As we know, 3-turn versus 2-turn. You want to throw after odd numbers. Pretty straightforward. And they're going to throw after 1 here. I am going to respect the discharge as it would knock out, but they bait very savagely with the Mud Bomb. I'm going to go for another Surf here. Surf's up, dude. Surf would threaten to knock out. They're going to put up the shield. And then I actually win the charge attack priority. This is really nice for us. Winning the charge attack priority, this is going to allow us to take the switch advantage. In comes Alolan Ninetails, and I am perfectly comfortable just staying in, forcing them to expend energy so I can align my Registeel here. We let Jelly go down. We come in Reggie. In comes Frostlass. So now I am going to stay in to get off my Zap Cannon. What's going to do the most damage to my Registeel? This potential Shadow Ball. So we're going to invest our shield here to our Registeel. Go for the Zap Cannon. Either we do big damage or we get the final shield. We get the final shield. So we come in Ninetales. We don't get the debuff, however. So now, is the Frostlass's Shadow Ball going to threaten to knock us out? I hope not. I hope Alolan Ninetales can take a Shadow Ball. Come on, Ninetales. You got this, right? Yeah, we got this. Dazzling Gleam is going to do so much damage. Once again, this is where having that hard-hitting move is so valuable. And this is just such a dominant matchup for Reggie. Although this Alolan Ninetales is up by many Powder Snows, you're going to see once... I was actually like starting to doubt, like, wait, it's up like so many Powder Snows. Is there any way that it can win this? And then I saw how little that Dazzling Gleam did. I was like, oh, no, we're fine. We're fine. I was like, could it throw like 5 Weather Balls at me and win this game somehow? Anyway, we're good. So that is 2-0 in this second set. Here we go. Next battle. Game number 3. Jellicent into Jellicent. Not the most fun situation, that's for sure. Because it's very bait dependent. Very much a mind game. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball immediately. Immediately they shield. I swap. I'm thinking, okay. I get a shield. I swap Reggie. Maybe I can pull some shenanigans with the shield advantage. But unfortunately, they have a very solid answer with this Toxicroak. And now I'm thinking, like, the problem here is if I let my Reggie go down, do they potentially get off a Shadow Ball? But I actually reached the Focus Blast here. I'm almost hoping they shield it, to be honest. But they let it go. And now this Jellicent has so much energy. I'm like, what the heck do I do, man? So I'm debating, like, what do I want to come in with? I come in with Ninetales. I get denied, unfortunately, because I lag a turns. That's really unfortunate. They bait me with Surf. They're going to throw another charge attack here. They throw another Surf. I swap Jelly. In comes Gligar. I'm thinking, maybe there's some play here. Maybe there's some play. Got to start shielding something, though. I go for the Surf. If I, like, take that Aerial Ace, suddenly we're in a situation where maybe they can hex us down in the end game. Gonna throw Surf here after 1. They are going to save that final shield for their own Jellicent. They are at the Shadow Ball here, but I'm thinking maybe they bait me again with the Surf, but no, they actually go for it through the shield. So a nice call by them. And basically just a 50-50 there, right? Made the wrong call. They made the right call. Outplayed by the opponent in that game. They just made too many right calls. And they shielded the Shadow Ball right in the lead. They landed the Shadow Ball through the shield in the end game. They were just in our heads. So pretty tough loss there. That was a pretty heartbreaking one in that set. But we're not going to give up yet. That's one loss. Maybe that derails our legend hopes, but we're still positive in this set, right? We're still positive in this set, so let's not give up hope just yet. We could try to fight back. We could try to make this close. Maybe set ourselves up for the next set. Maybe set ourselves up in maybe like the 2990s to try and hit legend in the next set. So we're searching for our next opponent here. Let's see who we're going to get. All right. Jellicent into Manabuzz. Tough lead. Brutal lead. We're going to safe swap Registeel. And they're staying in. So, although it's a terrible lead for Jellicent, them staying in signifies they don't have an obvious response to Reggie. So they're forced to stay in with Mandibuzz, which tells us they're very soft to Registeel. And suddenly, this means we have some play because they are weak to Reggie. And Dark Pulse going to do even less damage now that they're debuffed. It's going to give our next Zap Cannon, making sure we keep track of where the Mandibuzz is at. Going for another Zap Cannon here. Gets another debuff. These debuffs are nice. Going to make these Dark Pulses do even less damage. Another Dark Pulse coming through. This is the third one that Reggie is going to eat. And I'm just gauging. And based off the damage that last Dark Pulse did, I was thinking, I think I live this Dark Pulse to get off my Zap Cannon. I do. They catch it on Tentacruel. And then check out this decision here by me. This is key. I don't swap Jelly. I don't lock myself. I let Reggie go down so I can come in with Jelly. And this way I'm not switch locked. I'm not switch locked, which is huge. By not being switch locked, this Mandibuzz is going to come back in. And I'm going to get some use out of my Ninetales here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get off my Weather Ball against the Mandibuzz. Unfortunately, in comes Toxapex. And Toxapex is going to absorb the brunt of the damage here from A9. So that is not good for us. And now I got to start making decisions. Where the heck do I use my Protect Shield? You know, should have shielded the Sludge Wave here. I also go slightly over 100 energy there, so playing a little bit sloppy here. But we know we need energy for that Mandibuzz. So, this is very awkward. Very awkward. End up shielding a Brine. Would have been much better off shielding that Sludge Wave, that's for sure. Go to a maximum overfarm here of energy. We're going to need to get 3 Surfs off on that Mandibuzz. I think I might have denied them a Snarl there, which is very unfortunate by them. And they were pretty much energy dry. This ends up being a charge attack priority right here as we get to this double Surf. Surf comes through. We're going to win the charge attack priority. We have the double Surf, and we should be good here as we get off another one. And the Snarl went through there, which tells you they actually didn't quite have the double Aerial Ace, so it doesn't seem like that potential Snarl denial made a difference in the outcome there. At least it doesn't appear that way. So, very weird game. We had the worst possible lead, but they had no Registeel answer, but then we had nowhere for Alolan Ninetails to go. It ended up just being farm for Toxapex, basically. So, like, really weird game, that's for sure. And that puts us at 3-1. So if we want to give ourselves a shot at Legend, it's going to be make or break time right here. We're 3-1 in this set, 4-1. Let's just give ourselves a chance, right? Let's give ourselves a chance. They've got that English saying, can't win the raffle if you don't buy a ticket, right? So we've got the Jelly Mirr, the dreaded Jelly Mirr. Last time we went for Shadow Ball, and they shielded it. This time, we're going for Shadow Ball again. And we land it this time. Could you imagine if I baited this time and they called it? We land it this time. And we successfully shield Shadow Ball ourselves. They swap Gligar. This is looking really good for us. We win the charge attack priority here. Or actually, I'm not sure if they actually threw. We get the shield from Gligar. And now, I was aware here, if they bait, they only get to Aerial Ace. So if they dig, which they do, they don't even get to another move. We're still super healthy on all 3 of our Pokemon. This is looking really good. Alolan Ninetales. In comes Poliwrath. I'm just going to play this super safe. Guarantee the shield. Our Jelly's still super healthy. Reggie's still super healthy. Guarantee the shield. Baiting would like open up potential lose conditions maybe. I think guaranteeing the shield or the knockout there was super safe for us. We're just going to come in, wait out our timer, come back in with Jelly. All this energy is going to go absolutely nowhere. Jelly is like a big sponge. It's like SpongeBob, Mrs. Puff. We are awaiting the catch, which we know is coming. And then we're going to have to get off a Shadow Ball here to close this game out. Jelly takes it. They're going to top left before Registeel can make an appearance. And that is a 4-1 set, which we weren't convinced would be enough to hit Legend. Some people were saying, I think that's going to be enough, Rise. Homeslice Henry was convinced it was enough in the chat. A lot of people said, nah, going to be a little short. I personally thought it was going to be a little bit short. And shoot, I actually forget how editor Chris spliced this up, how far I want to skip ahead here. But looks like we're collecting now Mr. Lickitung as a reward, but that is a 4-1 set. And keep in mind, in the ELO system, the ELO of your opponent does impact, like, in your individual sets, how much you're going to gain or fall. So that last opponent juice, I believe, was like 30-32. So that was a nice little boost, or an up pair, as they call it sometimes. If you ever hear your favorite streamers or content creators say like up pair, down pair, they're referring to like the relative ELO that you're pairing up against, whether it's up or down. Might be a little bit of a pause here, and boom. Just barely, by the skin of our teeth, 3001. We were 2984 2 weeks ago. We fell like 200 points. Got frustrated. Took like several days off from the Go Battle League. We went back to it, and we hit Legend. What do you know? Sometimes you just need a little bit of a mental break. and a little bit of a rejuvenated spirit and a little bit of positivity, and you can hit those goals. So still obviously relatively early in the season, right? I think I don't know if the entire GBL leaderboard has even hit 3,000 yet, if the like top 500 has even extended to legend ranking. So still very early in the season. We're not even like halfway through. Usually it's around 90 days, right? So still very early. And it's just my own high expectations, right, of myself. And sometimes I feel the expectations from others in terms of like getting frustrated not hitting legend in a certain period of time when I see other peers hitting it and stuff. But when it's all said and done, still a nice little accomplishment to hit it. And I thank you guys for your support along the way. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. One more shout out to Jocks, by the way, for suggesting this team. This is the Jocks line. And if I get some credit as like this being the Rise line, that sometimes happens, but this is indeed the Jocks line, as we were able to hit it in the first 2 sets that we ran it, 4-1, 4-1 back-to-back. And yeah, shout out to him as well. So all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all of that said, thank you for watching. Hope you had a wonderful Global Go Fest. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.